June 28, 2005. Deep inside the rugged mountains of Afghanistan, American Navy SEALs were about to begin a mission that would become one of the most tragic stories in modern military history. Their objective was to locate a Taliban commander named Ahmad Shah, a man believed to be responsible for attacks against American and coalition forces. The mission was called Operation Red Wings. 4 men were sent into the mountains: Lieutenant Michael Murphy, Matthew Axelson, Dietz, and Marcus Luttrell. They were among America's most highly trained warriors. But that morning, they were walking into a nightmare. The team was inserted into the mountains and began moving quietly through the rugged terrain. Their mission depended on one thing: stealth. They needed to observe the enemy without being detected. But then, they encountered 3 Afghan goat herders, and among them was a young boy. Suddenly, the 4 SEALs faced a decision that could determine whether they lived or died. What should they do? Release the civilians and risk exposing their position? Or restrain them and potentially violate their rules of engagement? After a difficult discussion, they chose to let them go. It would become one of the most debated decisions surrounding the mission. Not long afterward, the mountains erupted with gunfire. The SEALs had been discovered, and they were facing a vastly larger enemy force. The Americans immediately fought back, but the terrain was brutal. Steep cliffs, rocky slopes, dense vegetation, and almost nowhere to hide. The 4 men began moving down the mountainside, desperately trying to escape the overwhelming attack. But the enemy kept coming. Dietz was badly wounded. Matthew Axelson was wounded, and Michael Murphy realized they had to call for help. But there was a problem. Their position was exposed. To make the call, Murphy would have to move into an area where the enemy could see him. He knew exactly what that meant, but he made his decision. He stepped out. Gunfire erupted around him. Murphy was shot, yet somehow, he managed to make the call for help. His desperate communication alerted American forces that the team was in serious trouble. But Murphy's position had now been exposed. The fighting continued, and eventually, Michael Murphy was killed. But the battle wasn't over. Dietz continued fighting. Axelson continued fighting. Luttrell continued fighting. They were wounded. They were exhausted. They were surrounded. And they were running out of ammunition. Yet they refused to surrender. Then, another tragedy struck. A rescue helicopter carrying American Special Operations personnel was sent to help them. But before it could reach the isolated SEALs, the helicopter was shot down. Everyone aboard was killed. The rescue mission had become another disaster. The 4 SEALs were now completely isolated. One by one, they fell. Michael Murphy, Dietz, Matthew Axelson, 3 warriors who had entered those mountains together, would never leave them alive. Marcus Luttrell was the only one left, seriously wounded, alone, and still being hunted. Luttrell kept moving. Eventually, he encountered an Afghan villager named Muhammad Ghalab. Instead of handing the wounded American over to the Taliban, Ghalab chose to protect him. Following the traditional Pashtun code of hospitality and protection, he and others hid Luttrell and provided him with food and shelter. For days, Luttrell remained hidden, until eventually, American forces found him, and Marcus Luttrell came home. But 3 of his brothers did not: Michael Murphy, Matthew Axelson, Dietz. Their courage was later recognized with America's highest military honors. Murphy was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. Dietz and Axelson were also posthumously decorated for their extraordinary courage. But no medal could bring them back. Today, Operation Red Wings remains a story of courage, sacrifice, survival, and the terrible uncertainty of war. People still debate the decision to release the goat herders. Some believe that decision ultimately exposed the team. Others argue that the SEALs were confronted with an impossible moral choice while operating under military rules and the laws of armed conflict. But perhaps the most important lesson is this: war does not always give you a good choice. Sometimes, it gives you 2 terrible choices and forces you to choose one. 4 men entered the mountains. 3 never came home. 1 survived to tell their story. Their names were Michael P. Murphy, Matthew G. Axelson, Dietz, and Marcus Luttrell. They went into those mountains as a team. 3 made the ultimate sacrifice, and 1 carried their memory home. May their sacrifice never be forgotten.